Okay, here's a 2002 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. There's no air conditioning in this truck. This is my truck. I bought this truck from a friend of mine. He said there was work done, but he didn't say what. So anyways, there's no AC. I checked the pressures. There's basically nothing in there, no refrigerant. So I assumed there was a leak, but after hooking up my manifold and putting it on, vacuum, the vacuum pressure held. So I don't know what's going on, but it never had AC. I've had it about a year. I usually use it in the winter, but so my attempt to charge this AC unit is going to be, the first step, I'm going to replace this receiver dryer, accumulator, whatever, because I've heard anytime you open up the system, it's a good idea to replace that. At $35, I figured that's a no-brainer, so that's my first step. And I'll put another vacuum on it and try to charge the system and see what happens. But the reason I'm making this video is there's not too much out there on a 2002 GMC. There's a lot of stuff about air conditions, but I want to change this accumulator out, so I'm just going to make a video just because it's specific vehicle. Like I said, I looked it up on YouTube. I didn't really get much. So anyways, the first thing I did was find out some capacities for my refrigerant, 32 ounces, which I bought a couple of cans, one 20 ounce, one 12 ounce. I also bought a AC stop leak and detector, just for shits and giggles, and some oil for the system. So I'm just going to get started by taking that accumulator out and replacing that, and then putting a vacuum on it. So in the meantime, first thing I noticed was that electrical connection just sitting there. Here's the one for the accumulator, but then there's just one sitting there all exposed. Usually a spare, for an option, whatever. It's in a holder, but it's just sitting there, so I don't know what the fuck that's for. But anyway, my plan is to take this off. It looks like it's just the one bolt up there on the firewall, and right here, look like a 14 or so, and maybe a 10mm bolt down there for that bracket that holds this, accumulator on. That accumulator looks a lot bigger than the one I got, but again, I don't think it makes a difference. That's probably original, so that's why I'm going to replace it. It's only got 50-something thousand miles on this vehicle, but again, I've heard that you're going to want to replace that accumulator anytime you open the system. So like I said, it's only $35, so I figured. Here's what I got so far. Basically, that ring down there, just a little 10mm bolt that secures it, and this just a pointer here. This bolt up here is I think it's a 13mm. I use a deep socket there, and of course the pipe, another 13mm socket. The new accumulator came with O-rings, so I'm going to take them off and whatnot, but let me show you. Basically, this is the new accumulator, the old accumulator. It may be a little longer, not sure. Once I take it apart, maybe it's the same size, maybe a little longer. I don't know, but I'm going to change out these O-rings and go from there and put this insulator back on. But I am going to cut through this old one just to see what the hell's in there, because I'm a curious type of person. And looks like that electrical connection has to come off and be swapped out. After opening it up, didn't find much, just basically, I'm sure this thing gets played out. It's a filter here with these, that's what dries everything, so I don't know, it didn't look too bad. But like I said, it's only 30 bucks, so I figured I'd cut into it, see what's doing. And it just looks like that inside. some kind of pickup tube. I'm sure the fluid comes down here and gets filtered through here. Like I said, I'm probably breathing in toxic waste. I'll probably drop dead here in a second. But feeling lightheaded. I don't know. They say it's bad for the ozone. Maybe it's bad for my health. I'm just kidding. But anyway, these things, I just took a little razor and pried them off. And it does look like these things have a raised end here and a concave end there. And look in here, the concave end goes in, the raised end goes out. I already replaced that one there. Put the cap back on just for now. I swapped this guy out. It had an O-ring on the thing. The included O-ring, unless it's for something else. But the old one had an O-ring and the new one had an O-ring, so I didn't get to use that. But these things just go in place like that. Like I said, I replaced that one. I'm gonna take this one off the hose and off that hose. A little HVAC tape around it. This little blanket, this little thermal blanket or insulator, whatever, because it was a little brittle, but that did the trick. Big baked potato I got here. So now I'm gonna put it back in the truck, and we'll go from there. Okay. Good thing about YouTube is you can learn from other people's mistakes, and this went fairly easy, putting this receiver dryer back in, accumulator, whatever. The band down here, get that before you tighten this bolt up here, this 13mm deep dish here. Before you tighten that up, get that band around the whole accumulator and get that 10mm bolt in the back started, because if you cinch that 13mm down, then this band won't go around. Not a big deal, but just saving you a little aggravation. Anyway, so that's that, and we're gonna have to put this hose in. I just put this little gasket deal on, so we'll get this. No, maybe not. There we go. Get that little booger off of there. Plug homeboy in. Watch this sucker go in. Looks pretty square there. I don't think you need a lot of torque to these guys, so I'm just using my hand. I don't know if I want to go up here a little more. Everything's secure there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a vacuum on this. Right now we're sitting at 0. Of course, nothing's hooked up. Hook some hoses up. Put this on my low side. Where'd you go, boy? Must have fell down in there. Alright. Hook this up on my high side. In case you're wondering, if you don't have a manifold, I'd recommend buying one. They're dirt cheap on Amazon. I think this sucker was 30 bucks, 40 bucks. I mean, it's all brass. I don't know what model number it is, but there you have it. Comes some extra O-rings and doohickeys. And I bought this vacuum on Amazon. I did have to buy this adapter, also on Amazon. A vacuum pump to RC. I mean to this guy here, to the vacuum line. The original, which is this piece down there, was, I believe it was 3. I don't know what it was, but this adapter, it's a must. You have to buy it, because otherwise it won't fit. So you screw this guy on there. Anyways, this vacuum cost $30-something. I mean, excuse the beer. This stuff is cheap for do-it-yourselfer. I mean, the refrigerant costs more. It was 40 bucks for that refrigerant. The vacuum pump was less. I've already used the vacuum pump. It works great. The manifold, I mean, I have 4 vehicles, all with air conditioning, so that's the reason I bought it. But to take this to a dealer or whoever to get this thing charged is one thing, but to change out an accumulator and you know, diagnose it, who knows how much it's going to be. I could care less. I don't like going places. I like doing things myself. Just a little research to look up the capacities, buy a couple tools, a couple cans of this, a couple cans of that, and we're going to see what happens here. Anyways, I got everything hooked up. Let's turn this vacuum on. See what happens. All right, the vacuum's on. You can hear the vacuum start to suck. Open the low side. Open the high side. You can already see that it's producing pretty good vacuum. Now I'm going to leave this on for about 30 minutes. Get everything sucked out of there. And I'll return. Then I'm going to shut this vacuum off. First I'm going to shut the valves off. Then I'm going to shut the vacuum off. And if that holds at 30, then I know I don't have no leaks. And then I'm going to try to charge the sucker. So stay tuned. Well, while this vacuum's doing its thing, this is a can of R134A PAG 100 oil charge with ICE 32 performance enhancer, blah blah blah. It's got about an ounce of oil in it and an ounce of whatever ICE 32 is and an ounce of R134. And this is a AC stop leak and detector. Now I don't know if I have a leak or not. I'll know when this vacuum, you know, gets done doing its doing. I'll let it sit for a while. If it doesn't lose anything, I'm going to put this anyway because it's got the detector or red dye in it. I've got some yellow dye I was going to put in it, but I already bought this can, and I'm going to put that in too. But reading this, I mean, basically, we've got, and I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera, but the total oil, it's a PAG oil, total oil capacity is 8 ounces. And it's saying accumulator replacement oil capacity is, you know, it's got a bunch of dashes. There's a footnote. It says add the same amount of oil drain plus 2 ounces. Well, I didn't, there was nothing in the system. So, you know, I'm going to add that whole can. It's only a 3-ounce can. And I don't give a shit. And if less than, okay, that's footnote 2. That's for the compressor. I didn't do nothing with the compressor. So I'm basically going to add that can. Like I said, if you read it, it's only an ounce of oil, 1 ounce of PAG 100 refrigerant oil, 1 ounce of ICE 32 performance enhancer, 1 ounce of R134A, and it's a 32, again, I don't know if you can see that, a 32 ounce capacity for the refrigerant. So I've got a 20 ounce and a 12 ounce. And basically, I'm going to add this first, this oil, and I'll probably add this second. Then I got this can, which is also max seal. I like stuff with seal in it, obviously. And then I'll add this can, but I'll keep an eye on the dials. I'm not sure where they're supposed to be, but I'll just keep an eye on things, and because I don't want to overload the system. But hopefully everything will go okay. Again, professionals probably know exactly what to do, but as a do-it-yourselfer, well, hell, can't hurt anything. It doesn't have air conditioning anyways. So I figure take my chances. And I got about another 5 minutes. I'm going to shut this vacuum off and just let it sit for a little while longer, see if there's any vacuum leaks. But this is a pressure chart. I got all these off of this website, IDQ. All these stats, in case you're wondering, but they go into temperature, pressure chart, ambient temperature, and all this. And this is what this low pressure gauge is supposed to read, and the high pressure gauge is supposed to read based on the ambient temperature. And right now it's about, I don't know, 70, 72. I have to look it up, but so I'm going to be looking for 35 to 40 on the low side, and maybe 145 to 160 on the high side. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, this thing's been running quite a bit. In case anybody's interested, like I said, this vacuum costs like $30-something. Wicked cheap. Don't know if you could see that, but the model number is RS1. Got it on Amazon. Thing's pretty hot right now, but it's doing a trick. I got about, again, can't really tell if you can see this because I'm using a GoPro, so I can't really see, but it's naked eye. It's looking around really 30 whatever measurement that is, the green area there for vacuum, and you know, it's maxed out. So what I'm going to do is, before I turn the vacuum off, I'm going to go ahead and shut this valve off, low side and high side. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the vacuum off, and hopefully, well, first of all, if there's a major leak, I don't even think you can get vacuum on there. But again, I'm not a professional, I'm just really winging this. But I would assume if there was a major hole or major vacuum leak, you couldn't even achieve vacuum. But I'm going to shut this vacuum off. And I'm going to wait about a half hour or so. And if that thing holds at 30 inches or whatever the measurement is, I'm going to go ahead and start charging the system. We're getting close to times. I'm going to disconnect this. By the way, this vacuum gets a little hot. I'm going to disconnect this. Even that tip's pretty hot. The next order of business, I'm going to go ahead and... Alright, this is the dye I'm going to add. What this is going to do is tell me if there's any leaks for future use. But it's been a while, and that thing hasn't moved, so I'm pretty confident there is no leaks. But I'm going to add this anyways. And it says 4 applications. So I'm going to use just a quarter of this. So, like I said, I'm going to add a fourth of the stuff. That looks about right. Let that get in there. 30. Oh, they even have marks on there. Look at that. You got a little bit to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just a little bit more. That's one vehicle. It's actually, they marked it a little bit, so. Then I'm going to plug this back into my manifold. And the other end. Hey, did you get any of that shit on you? I don't know. You take the little light and you're like, oh fuck yeah. So it does work pretty good. Let's see what happens. Alright, well, it's been 40 minutes or so, and this thing is at it's still pegged out at 30, so I don't think there's any leaks involved. Now this can of AC Pro came with this doohickey here. You set the ambient temperature, and you know, you supply this to the low side. To the low side service port there, and read your dial and do it accordingly. But I took it off of this can because I've got the manifold, and I'm going to do it this way. But if you just got this can, you could probably do it that way. But so the other thing is, these cans are sealed. So this valve, this little pin valve, came off of this guy here, which I'm not sure what end I think it was on that end. And this is just something I bought on I'm not even sure where I got that, but that's also for AC. Probably bought that years ago. But anyways, so this is what I'm going to use for a tap. So I'm going to screw this onto this can like so. Yeah. Then I'm gonna once that's screwed on, I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna run this tapping mechanism down. That'll puncture that, and of course this needs to be hooked up to my service line, which has the dye in it. So let me get that all set up. I just ran this puppy down, tapped it, backed it off. Honestly, I didn't feel anything move pressure wise, so I'm not sure if it's tapped. I'm hoping it is. I'm sure if I take that tap off, things will go awry. But alright, so I'm going to start the vehicle. It's got a vacuum on it, as you can see, and we'll see what happens. see it or not. Can't really get a light down there. Yeah, you can't really see it. Now, in between them two hoses, you can see the compressor. It's not moving. So, let's hope by charging this sucker, it'll do the trick. So we're going to open the low side only. And automatically it went up to 60 pounds. You're supposed to shake this can back from 12 to 3 o'clock, whatever that means. The can's getting a little cold. And my, oh, I just heard the compressor kick on, which it's never done since I've owned this vehicle, so that's a good sign. Oh, there it goes again. So I'm just going to keep continue to shake this guy. And it's going 45 to 50. It just kicks on about 48. Now it's dropping down to 30 something. So I'm just going to keep adding shit. And my high side's running around, I don't know, around 75, I guess, when it kicks on. Well, I'm going to add this whole can because it takes 32 ounces. This is only 12 ounces, so I expect nothing from this can. So I'm just going to keep doing my thing. But I can hear the compressor coming on, which I'm kind of glad because it's never worked. Yeah, so there's that. I do feel a little bit in there, but it is getting pretty light. I think it's almost empty. Alright, I'm going to shut this operation down. Go right here. I'm going to close this off. Let's see what happens here when I open this. Let's put that there for now. Alright. Well, I'm going to change this valve. I got to change my gloves. Got dye all over the place. I'm going to change this valve, put it on the oil, put that in, then get to that. But meanwhile, I'm going to get the thermometer, see where we're at. I put that oil in. The other can there, the AC Pro, had just a little bit of refrigerant left. Not much. It just pissed out just like for a half a second. So I think that can was basically empty. I just ran that tap down and back out. So I'm going to open this valve up. And we'll go ahead and throw this guy in there. This is the oil. Let's throw some oil in there. I mean, I don't know what that compressor's supposed to sound like. It sounds horrible out here, but maybe it'll get better. Pressures are... Oh, actually they're climbing, actually. Wow. 60 and 100. Wow. That is a pretty good climb. This is the oil. I'm not sure what that's about, but... Alright, well, here's the tap. I'm looking for 40 to 160. 40 to 160 on the... once I get this sucker screwed in here. Alright, it's tight there. So we run this tap down. Puncturing the seal. There it goes. It's easy peasy. Alright. Back it off. Let some flow go through. Alright, here we go. I'm looking for 160 on the high side. We're about 100, so let's hope for the best. Let's open this valve up. Wow, it's all the way up to 70 on that. Alright. There's all the way up to 65 on the low side, and then back down to, wow, went down to 30. That's all right. So let's see what this high side is. Well, actually, on the camera, you could probably see both of them simultaneously. I'm looking at one. So it goes up from, you can hear the compressor running longer. Wants to get up to about 140. This can still has a lot in it, so. Oh yeah, like that high side, huh? Yeah, getting up there close to 150. All right, and the compressor's working longer. Hear it? I think this fucker's gonna work. The next number up is 175. So. See what our chart is. 175 will put us at 80 degrees. It's not quite there. I think we're getting close. I really do. And the compressor's on now. Ooh, this can is really light. So we're at 43, almost 45 in a low, and about 170 or so on the so 40, 170. We're about there. This is about it. Now that compressor's on, this can is getting light, so I think we're almost empty. So I'm thinking we're golden here. Christ's sakes. This can't be that easy, yeah? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off because that can is empty. Compressor's running. Gauges look good. I tell you, I think the static pressure when everything is off, I think they're supposed to be even after it equalizes, so we're going to do that test next. So when I shut the vehicle off and wait a while, supposedly from research I did, the static pressure, both of these gauges should be even, they equalize each other. So we'll see what happens next, but I want to see what this and besides that compressor, oh yeah, it's nice in here. Yeah, it's looking like 40 something degrees in here. I could feel the vents. It's a nice. There's this thermometer would. It's saying 45 on my digital, so I don't know why that's probably not working. 44, 42, 41, 39. Oh yeah, that's some ice cold air there. That's what I'm talking about. 38, 40 degrees. That's what I'm talking about. That's some nice air right there. Oh, so this project worked. All right, so that came out good. There's no leaks. You can, I don't know if you can see it or not. Guy's sweating pretty good. Everything's working. It's 40 something degrees in the cab. Between the fuel there, the two cans, that's 40 and I think it was $11, whatever. So we're talking 50 something plus this little guy was $6. So let's just say $60. The manifold was 30 something dollars. The vacuum was 30 something dollars. I went from no AC, no compressor running, no nothing for over a year. I've had this vehicle for over a year, never had AC. So the only thing I did was changed out the accumulator and charged the goddamn system. So hope that helped somebody out. 2002 GMC Sierra 2500. Just 120 bucks, let's say 150, round it up. You can get your shit done. Alright, see you later.